Cool. So welcome, ladies, all of you. Really pleased that you took that time to join. Very pleased to see you, and most importantly, I'm very pleased that you took that time for yourself. So well done already just on that first step. So as you know, you came to this training, which is a training where I'm going to share the #1 secret to feeling more confident right now. At least that's the minimum that you're going to get, and you'll see I'll talk you through many more things. So as I've mentioned, don't hesitate to take notes as you go and write down if you have any questions, and then at the end, I will answer all of your questions. I won't be looking at the chat as I go through the presentation, except if I see a lot coming through at one point, but otherwise I won't read them through it, otherwise I'm going to get distracted and I want to be just all in for you. All right, so what we're going to see is how to live your dream life and career without having to prove anything to anyone, which is what self-confidence helps you do, right? And I will really invite you as we go through the presentation, when I talk about some concepts, when I propose you some questions, really think through with the angle of how does that apply for me? How does that show up in my life? So that you can start really building more and more your own awareness. I am Alix, certified life coach. Now, some of you know me at school, know me from my previous job in corporate, and some of you know me as a life coach. So that's now what I do, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to talk a bit about more my story in the coming slide. But for now, I just wanted to let you know that what I want to help you do is to pursue anything you desire with ease, confidence, and self-trust. And you'll see those three things are so important. They all come through in the presentation. So I want to start with one first secret, is that to achieve any of your dreams, it needs an advocate. So don't know if you've seen that movie, Legally Blonde. I have seen it so many times in my childhood, in my teenage years with my sisters. And the reason I brought it up is because first I saw a lot of us had seen it. And if you haven't, don't worry. The whole idea is to know what happens in a courtroom with defendant and then the defense. The reason I wanted to show it to you is to help you visualize what happens in your brain when we want to go after our dreams. And, I'm mentioning dreams here quite a lot, but it applies exactly the same way to any goals you want to pursue in your life, big or small. You're going to have the same dynamic that I'm going to explain to you right now. But more specifically for the dreams, because they're big, yeah? So the bigger they are, the more audacious they are, the more our brain is going to go into, what's going on here? And being like super freaked out about it. So your dream needs a team, needs an advocate like Reese. Imagine Reese, I can't remember her name in the movie, represents what your dream is to you. It's something that stands out in your life. It's something that is most likely pretty bold or pretty audacious, or something that is, in the back of your head. And what happens is when we have those dreams, generally, we have the whole defense team, which is at the bottom right of the picture, the whole defense team that is going to spend their whole time telling you why and how it's not possible. They're going to come up with all of the reasons why it's not going to work. Basically, they're going to be on the defense, right? They're going to say, you can't do it, it's never been done before, and we have all of this evidence to prove it to you. No one has done it, it's impossible, They're going to build their case, basically, against your dream. And Reese, on the other side, the defendant, is going to build her case for your dream. So naturally, without us knowing it, we are on the defense team, okay? Our brain is on the defense team just because he wants to keep us safe. And not going after your big dream is safer for him, for your brain, than going after your dream. So just keep that in mind, because as naturally, we're not going to pursue our dream. We're going to focus all our time and attention on why it's not possible. It means that it's going to take consciousness, it's going to take focus and intentionality to move away from that pattern and to join Ree's team, which ultimately is what you want to do, right? If you want to pursue a big goal, get a bigger job, get a promotion, get more clients in your business, find a relationship that you love, feel fulfillment in your life, all of those things are going to require you to change team and to go on her team. And where coaching comes in is that coaching helps you move from one team to the other. It helps you build all of the skill set that you're going to need to move on to Team Reese, the defendant, right? The team that's going to stand for your dreams, the team that is going to be able to allow a lot of emotional discomfort, that is going to be able to hear all of the chatter from, the defense who is telling you it's not possible, you can't hear it, and still do the work. The team that's going to have your own back when it's hard and is not going to quit. The team that's still going to show you what's the goal that you want, why is it so important for you, and why you want it by any means possible. That's the role of the coach. It's the little guy, at the bottom, the little cute one that works with Reese. Yeah, that's what I would do when I coach my clients. I thought that was important for you to keep that in mind, because I think there is quite a lot of misconception on life coaching, or just not knowing. Before I got into it, I had no idea what I did, a life coach, and also about what happens in our brain. So I think that's quite helpful. I hope it is for you too. So what I believe in is that you get to live the life and the career you want right now. That is just a right that you have. But I guess you might not be there right now. Yeah, and it's okay. You might be more in a place where it feels that, you're questioning, you're looking at your current life right now and you think like, is that all there is? I mean, really, I'm sure there is something more than what I'm living right now. It might feel like you're unsure what your purpose is or what your vision is, but you definitely want to find out. It also might feel like you have tried so many tools and books, especially on self-confidence, I can imagine, and podcasts, and you want to hear something that is going to work for good. And I know it came out as well for a lot of my clients, and for me personally, when I went on that self-confidence journey, I wanted to close the knowing-doing gap. That gap where you feel like I have so much awareness, because, when you do all of the reading and the research and all of that, you seek answers, then you do have a lot of awareness. But then in terms of when it's about applying, then you feel like, but I can't apply it. And it just doesn't work for me, or it's too hard. It's only because you're trying to apply it, still being in the defense team. You need to change team. You need to develop new skills, and you need to change the focus of it's going to work, instead of all of the reason why it's not going to work. And maybe I'm going to try to outrun that belief. That's where I come in. And my goal through that presentation, and through my business in general, but definitely for today, is to equip you with those skills. You need to create any changes that you want for yourself, starting with self-confidence. I'm not going to be able to cover everything in an hour and a half. That's why I do coaching programs. But definitely for today, we're going to dig deeper into self-confidence. So know a very important truth is that the only things that are standing between you and your dreams are your beliefs about yourself. So let me unpack that a bit. So first, a belief. So what is a belief? It's a thought that we have in our head that we've repeated over and over and over to the point that it just comes naturally to us and it feels true. Okay, so it's like a fake truth. And then why I'm mentioning that what stands between you now and your dreams is the belief about yourself, is because the way you're going to think about you, the way you're going to talk to yourself, the way you're going to think about your abilities is going to define whether or not you're going to take actions, whether or not you're going to jump in and try something new, which ultimately is what you need to create your dream, right? Or anything new, any new goal, really, as such. So those are really, really key. Those truths, those beliefs, those stories that we keep telling ourselves about ourselves that feel so true. And the second secret about how our brain works is that our brain is going to believe what we focus on. Just going to admit someone else. Sorry, where is the... Oh, apologies, ladies. I need to admit someone. Oh, I think I clicked the right button. All right. So our brain believes in what we focus on, and then he makes it true. So what does that mean? It means that what we focus on is the most important part, because that's what's going to create what actually happens in our life. You know what I was talking about, the different teams that we have? It's exactly what they're doing, right? Imagine you're going to in a court of law. Yeah, you are in the jury. The more you're going to hear evidence for one side of the story, the more you're going to start thinking, oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah. And then the more you're going to be on, for example, the defense side, the more you're going to try and be even more on their side, right? Like have that filter of, yeah, but they've said something that was really interesting compared to the other one. And you're going to find more and more proof that your opinion is the right one and that they are right as well, right? So it's really a cycle where the more we focus on something specific, the more our brain is going to pick up evidence for it that it's true, and therefore the more we're going to choose it. The reason I tell you that is because all of this happened unconsciously. And I personally had no idea about all of these. And I know that understanding how our brain works, how we actually can, when we understand it, we can help ourselves so much more easily, with so much more ease to achieve our goals, right? Because what it means is that if what you want to believe is that you can achieve the dream, it means that what you need to do is to bring a lot of evidence and focus intentionally, spend a lot of time on how you can achieve it, what you have, what it takes, how you've done something similar in the past, you know, and so on, so that you prove yourself true as you go. And we will go through it as we go. You know, I'm going to illustrate it with more and more examples. So don't worry if something feels a bit, you're not too sure about what I've just said, we will clarify. Fred, welcome, by the way. Oh, I need to go back. Here we go. So one thing as well that I've noticed, so I'm going to talk a bit more around now my own kind of journey, especially around self-confidence, but like broader than that, around change more than anything. So I used to be very much what I would consider myself a perfectionist, peace searching, and a people pleaser. I could have also even put the 4 P's with procrastinator, but just didn't fit in it. Yeah, and so I'm recovering from it. That's how I like to call it. And how I've done the recovering from those identities that I've just put there is that I have looked and dug so much in my own brain, in my own beliefs, in my own thoughts that I had about myself, in, you know, how I feel. And I've done quite a lot of work in that, a lot of personal, digging, and then most importantly, actually acting upon it. And what that helped me create is beyond, actually, I wouldn't say I'm completely free, of perfectionism, of people pleasing, of procrastinating and things like that, because things still come back just because I've trained it for 32 years. So it's still there. But I don't get into it. I don't believe anymore that it's who I am. I believe that I can do it differently. When it comes up, I can see it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing that perfectionistic thing anymore. It's not working. And then I move on to another approach, right? I use the other tools that I have. And that's what also have helped many of my clients to do, is to help them be free of their current identity, of their current limiting beliefs that they have about themselves, about what they can do, what they can't do. And that is the magic, because what I said, right, what stands between you and your dream is your belief about yourself. So the whole game is to change your belief about yourself so that you can achieve whatever you want. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the last few years. And I'm determined to help you the best way I can get out as well of your own box, what I've put, those identity where we put the label on our head. Oh, but I'm just like that. I'm just a people pleaser. Oh, but no, but I'm just a perfectionist. No, but I've never been able to do that. I'm just procrastinator. The more you're going to keep repeating that to yourself, the more your brain is going to believe it's true. The more you're going to create in your life. So next time you say that, have a think, even if it feels true, whether you want to have that story about you. Is it the story you want to tell about yourself? And that you want to keep telling about yourself in 10 years? Because that's the power that we have with our brain. So I want to help you overcome that so that you can shine brighter than ever. That's where we're going to start today. So my biggest life lesson. 3 years ago, I've put exactly, but most likely not exactly. I was somewhere where you are now, or where you've been. Kind of, that woman who seems like she has it all under control, that she has it all together. I've called her the superwoman. And who looks after everybody except herself. Does that sound familiar? And I wanted to live a much more fulfilling life. No, I wanted to be successful and live this fulfilling life and make everyone happy. But what I didn't know was what any of this truly meant. If I was honest with myself, now that I reflect, what a fulfilling life looked like for me, I didn't really know. How what actually made people happy, I didn't really know. It was assumption. The same for success. What did that mean? But what I also knew is that I didn't have any energy or confidence left in me to figure it out, because I was giving it all to others. And at one point, I pushed that behavior so much that I did not recognize myself. And I still remember one day, like, snapping at my kids, over and over and over, to the point that I was like, who are you? Seriously, I found myself being so negative and tired and impatient, and whereas I've never been like that, not on the whole. Obviously, I will always have those things. Even now, I still snap at my kids, or I'm still negative sometimes, but it's not how I would see myself. So having that reflection, it was like I had a mirror in my face, and it did a big switch for me. And that's where I found myself being at a crossroad. I thought, okay, Alix, you have two choices here. Either you keep feeling miserable in not even the life that you have, because I'm not going to go into all of the details, but we're not defined by just the life, the house, the husband, the whatever. But my mindset at that point was very much in victim mode, and it was very much negative, and I felt so miserable in my life. Or I thought, or you take control of your life, whatever that means, because I had no idea. So what I decided, and I've done a lot of work as well on that, was to stop settling for okay or miserable, to be honest, and actually go for finding who I am. And to be able to do that, for me, I needed to leave my marriage. I am not a divorce advocate, okay? Not at all. It was just part of my story. But that's what at that point I felt that I needed. It was to offer me that space to figure out my own stuff and who I was, because I came so far away from me that I didn't recognize that woman. So I went for it. I left the marriage. It was during the bloody pandemic. I was in the UK, as you can hear, I'm French. So all my family was in France. I had my 2 young kids. One was 1.5. And I had that full-time job working in a factory 24/7. I was in a management position, but, working with them. And I took my 2 kids and I tried to figure everything out. And I was like, that's not going to work on my own. I have no idea how I'm going to do all those things without any help. And that's where I found life coaching. Thank God. Seriously. And after I found life coaching, I do a fast forward. I've changed everything in my life but my kids. I've changed my career, my lifestyle, my mindset, thankfully, my rhythm, a lot of things. And what I found, ladies, it's possible for you too, I found my purpose. I found my lost confidence even more than before. And I found myself. And that's when I realized, I thought, if I can do it, so can other people. And I want to help them do it too. That's my found purpose. That's why I'm here today. So what I decided to do was to get certified as a life coach, to live whilst I was doing my corporate job and raising my 2 kids on my own, and then to start my own business. So as you can imagine, on the way through moving from the defense team to the defendant of my dreams and of me, oh God, that was hard. I had so many doubts. I had loads of insecurities. I didn't have as much time and energy as you can imagine. So do you, I'm sure. I had people's perception in my ears, and I was afraid to do it wrong, and I had to make a lot of tough choices. But I didn't give up, and I made it happen. I created my dream life and career, a coaching business helping women thrive and shine again, and an authentic and loving family at no one's expense. It's possible. I really didn't think it was possible, but it is. And one big lesson for me, one big learning that I have that I wanted to share with you is that I was so focused. The reason I ended up where I was is that I was feeling like I was failing at life. I was hiding behind that superwoman identity. And when I gave myself a chance to be seen, to have a voice, and to believe in myself, and all of this for me, not even for other people. It's just that I could see me, that I could hear my own thoughts, my own opinion, and to believe in myself. That's how I realized that I'm actually bloody resourceful. I'm courageous, I'm determined, already as I was, and already as I am, as me, without having to pretend to be any better or any more superwoman-y than I was. After 30 plus years, right? So I discovered it the hard way. But I know now that I'm already whole and amazing right now. And so are you. So if you've been struggling with feeling not enough, feeling insecure, this is probably why. It's only because you have spent most of your time and energy on proving to the world that you are not broken and that you have it all together. And what you might have totally missed is seeing you, is your inherent worth, and working on becoming your own dreams advocate. See, it's again just a matter of focus. And it's okay. It's never too late to start believing in yourself. And it's exactly what I'm going to help you do. So, just before skipping into self-confidence, the hard way, because I am your dreams advocate, remember? So I want to show you what being on the defense team and not believing in yourself is costing you at the moment. So right now, being a good everything, an amazing employee, a caring mom, loving wife, good daughter, an amazing boss, and all of that, all of those expectations that you have for yourself means that you fulfill others' needs instead of yours. Means that you don't really ask for what you want. This career that you are thinking about, this promotion, the time for yourself, the time to think. It also means that you say yes when you really mean no, and most likely you're keeping yourself small to avoid failing. So how much did that cost you? How much did that cost me? In time, yes. I mean, seriously. Imagine all of the time that we spend, that we try proving all those great, amazing women type of it that we do. We spend so much time on proving that, so much time on fulfilling everybody's needs for our own, or saying yes when we actually want to do something for us. The energy that it costs you to do that. Countless sleepless nights. I was only talking about the kids, when my husband didn't want to go and look after them in the evening, and I thought, oh, but he's just too tired, I'm gonna do it, although it was not working. And I was working full time, and I still was the one who woke up every night to go look after the kids. And as well, the same thing when we spend a lot of time in the office or at work because we think, oh, there's so much to do, I can't just let them now at the moment. But we feel so guilty because our family is waiting for us at home. And then when we're at home, we spend a lot of time and try to make everything right and everybody happy because we feel so guilty that we spend so much time in the office or at work. You know that mechanism? Yeah. And money. I mean, really. Imagine all of the raise that you haven't taken. All of the step up, all the big career moves, all the new opportunities in your business that you haven't pursued because you didn't want to do it wrong, because you really wanted to maintain that good employee, etc., or that good woman image that you had. Imagine what this self-confidence would do with all of these. That's why I'm so passionate about being a dreams advocate, because it's a no-brainer now that I'm on this side of it. So let's help yourself, right? Believe more in you, in your abilities, and become your dreams advocate. Let's get into the self-confidence. Before I move into the self-confidence meaty topic, do you have any questions or anything that is really a showstopper before I continue? No. Very good. I hope you're all not asleep behind your computer. Nope. Elaine is awake. All right, let's continue then. So the 3 secrets about self-confidence. Number 1, self-confidence never comes from outside of you. Self-confidence is a feeling that is triggered by a thought. That thought is going to be about yourself, about your abilities, about your skill sets, to figure it out, right? Not to do it flawlessly. I'm going to get more into it as we move through the different secrets. I'm going to dive much more into it. Okay, but keep that one in mind. Self-confidence never comes from outside of you. Second one, you get to choose to believe whatever you want about yourself, right? So we said that self-confidence comes from the thoughts, the belief that we have about ourselves, our ability, our skill set. The good news is we actually get to choose those beliefs about ourselves, even though it might not feel that way. Because right now what's going on is that you are simply living the beliefs, the rules, the standards, the expectations that you've been taught, that you've been brought up with since your childhood. So your brain, through all of those years, especially between 0 and 6 years old, has picked up on what it means to be a good mom, what it means to be a good woman, and a good employee, what society expects. And unconsciously, that's what you're trying to live up to. But as adults, we get to choose them. So let's choose purposefully. Secret number 3, because I thought, we want to create more self-confidence, but if we always kind of adding a layer of self-confidence killer that I called, is going to boom, bring it back down, right? And the worst self-confidence killer that I found is self-disrespect. I'm going to get more into details of what self-disrespect is. But basically, it's all of those negative self-talk that you have about you. All of those sentences, you're like, you did it wrong again. You're so lazy. But no way anybody's going to listen to you anyway. It's not important what you think. All of those sentences that we have in our heads, well, that is what absolutely kills your self-confidence. And you might think right now that it's how you get things done, and that without it, you won't push yourself to go do the things that you want, but it's exactly the opposite that it does to your brain. I'm going to show you in a bit as well. All right, let's unpack those ones. Secret number 1. Self-confidence never comes from outside of you. That's what I was mentioning. So what self-confidence is, and the definition that I like to use, because I find it simple and very easy. Self-confidence is your belief in your abilities to figure it out, no matter what comes up. That's it. It's as simple. It's only a sentence in your brain, in your head, that you tell yourself along those lines of, I can figure this out. I have got this. No matter what happens, we will be fine. That is what self-confidence is. That's the kind of thoughts and mindset that is going to make you feel self-confidence. Because self-confidence is a feeling, right? Feelings, emotions, the same. There are vibrations in our bodies, feelings, right? So each feeling that we're going to have is coming from a thought that we had before. And you can see it, right? Just, I'd love you to try it on. Try to think, I can figure this out. Just like tell yourself, I can figure this out in your head out loud. And see how it feels in your body. For me, when I'm thinking, I've got this. But like really, like with my body, I've got this. I can feel already just like, the stress, the tension just goes down a notch. I feel so much more grounded and assured and self-confidence. That's where self-confidence comes from, is from those thoughts that we have. And not from more knowledge, not from another diploma, not from reading 1,000 books on how to do it to the letters, not from having all of the answers when we go into an interview. That is not where self-confidence comes from. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions that there is around self-confidence, is that self-confidence is outside of us. You should look for it, under our phone, in Google's, under a rock, I don't know, somewhere. We've all done that. I've done that countless times, where I think I need to feel more self-confident. I need more information. I need to know what to expect. I need to know how to react. I need to know what they're going to ask me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying, you want to, I don't know, apply for a higher job without any idea of what's going on or what the job is going to be or who the person is going to be who's going to interview you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the answer for you to feel confident that you can do the job is not in the books, is not in the podcast, and it's not in me. It's in you, and it's in thinking and repeating and looking for evidence that you have got this. And most importantly, not most importantly, but and as well, is to really look and really kind of repeat yourself that self-confidence is not about your ability to do it right first time and to do it flawlessly and without fails. And that often looks like, I need to get all of the answers. I can't make mistakes. And that's when we have those thoughts that we start, doing all of the podcasts and reading the 1,000 books and applying for diplomas or whatever it is to fill that self-confidence gap that we have. We think that knowledge is going to fill that gap, but it isn't. I mean, how many times you've done that, right? You've prepared on the book, you've prepared everything you could for that new client or for that new role that you wanted. You've read everything, you've done the training, you've done whatever. And yet, when you were in front of it, it was like, it was freeze, like your brain had a freeze moment. That's only because he's thinking that he needs to have all of the answers right now, right first time. So if someone doesn't ask you the question that you had already studied, your brain is going to freeze. It's going to be like, I don't know how I can do this. It's just, it was not in the book. Right? That's what the misconception is. When we think, I can figure this out, then you come to the thinking, okay, I might not say everything right. I might make mistakes, but I've got this. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to figure it out, even if I stutter a bit, even. So I want to help you see it with 2 examples. And again, I'm sharing those examples, but as I'm talking, feel free to see how it resonates for you, how you see it play out in your own life. So, for example, you want to get a higher job. You want to get a new client, depending on if you're employed or if you are an entrepreneur. Yeah, I know I have a bit of a mix. So you want to get that new job, that bigger job. You want to get that new client, something new and a bit scary, right? So you have 2 options here. Well, many more, but in terms of what creates self-confidence. If you think about that job and you say, okay, I can totally figure it out. Everything is figureatable. Yeah? I'm going to feel self-confident. Okay, I can figure that out. It's not the end of the world. So what am I going to do? When I feel that self-confidence about my abilities to figure it out, I'm going to think about what the job or the client requires, right? I'm going to think about, okay, I'm going to compare to what I am. Oh, I'm actually already equipped. I have done that. I know this, I know that. I'm going to reach out to more people so that they can give me their own experience. They can give me tips. They can give me, whatever learnings that they had. I'm going to ask loads of questions to the recruitment or to the guy or to people who knows the job that I want or who have already done the job that I want. And I'm going to listen out. So all of those actions are going to create for me the result then I'm going to totally figure it out, right? And most likely I'm going to land that new job or that new client because I've taken all of those actions to make it happen, right? And only because of that thought, because I'm thinking I can totally figure it out. So I'm going to work to figure it out from that self-confidence. Keep that example in mind. Now, what I want to show you is when we are in a different mindset, how it shows up with the same event. So you still want to get a higher job. You still want to get that new client. And the first thing that comes through your head is, I need to get it right first time. I've been there. I mean, seriously, how many times I had that thought? I need to get it right first time. Repeat that thought for you. Yeah, have a think about, I need to get it right first time. How does that feel in your body? For me, it feels pressured. And I'm sure, for you, that might feel slightly something different, but that might feel pressured, that might feel heavy, that might feel scary, that might feel stressful, whatever that feeling is. But when we are in that feelings are what drives our action, right? Feelings are our fuel for action. When we're in that pressured or stressful feeling, we're not going to do much, believe me. So generally, what I would do, and I invite you to do the same, what you would do, is I would focus everything about me. I would think like, okay, so if I need to get it right first time, I'm going to think about what I need, what is important for me, what are my worries. I'm going to look at how can I fill all of my gaps. Yeah, I'm going to start making big old plans to make sure I've covered all of my angles, and I'm sure I can make it right first time. And my brain is always going to go on, okay, what else do I need to make sure I don't fail? What else do I need to make sure I succeed right first time? So I'm going to add more and more and more, and most likely I'm going to procrastinate as well, more and more and more. So think about what's going to be the results of those actions in your life. Well, it's fairly clear for me is that I won't allow myself to get the job or the client at all, because I will be so scattered in 100 directions that I'm not actually really first of all, imagine I go for the interview or I get on the phone with the client, I'm not going to be even present with that person when I get there, because I'm only going to be, I hope I'm not going to make a mistake. So I'm only going to listen for my own worry instead of their question, their needs. And at the end, I'm going to be so unprepared because I've stretched myself so thin on 100 directions. Most likely I'm going to be exhausted and I'm not going to show up at my best self. Yeah. So all of those actions are not going to allow myself to get the job or the client. That is almost a guarantee. Except if you have an indefinite timeline. If you want to get that new client in 10 years, then you might have enough time. But most likely that's not what you want to do for your life. So you see how it works, right? It has nothing to do with what you're trying to reach. It has nothing to do with that client or that new job as such, because we're talking about exactly the same C, the circumstance at the top, the same event. The only thing that has changed in here is your thought about it. I can totally figure it out, or I need to get right first time. That thought is exactly what is going to create the results, because our brain always wants to prove our thoughts true. Yeah, so all of the actions that we're going to take is only going to prove our thoughts. That is one thing that I wanted to give to you. Because when you start knowing that self-confidence is not outside of you, you can cut your action plan by 10. You can get a lot of energy back because you're not in that I need more energy, right? And in all that pressure, because feeling pressure is absolutely draining. I mean, you know it as well as me, energy and time-wise. And then you can really focus on what's going to shift the needle for you, on what's going to make you and get you create that client or that job, which is your mindset and your thoughts. that's where I come in as well. That's where I help my clients to do. Because it's not that easy, obviously. I know a lot of you must have some objections of, yeah, but Alix, I mean, if it was that easy to change your thoughts, I would just do it, yeah? And I know that's where it takes work. That's where coaching comes in. And that's where I am spending most of my time doing as well with my own self. You know, when I want to get that new job, the first thought that comes to my mind most likely is going to be, I need to do it right. Like when I was preparing for that training today, for sure, one of the first thoughts that came in was, oh, you need to nail it. You can't make any mistake. So my role was to guide me. I was like, no, Alix, we know what it does. When we are in that mindset, that does the result that I'm putting here. I don't want that. I don't want to do a crap job or not even show up. So my whole focus was to rewire and refocus my own thoughts, and that's not what I want to believe. I want to focus on the fact that I've got this. I can figure this out one step at a time. Where do I start to start figuring it out? And then one by one, I move the needle. Okay, secret number 2, ladies. Just gonna have a sip of water. So you can believe whatever you want about yourself. So self-confidence, as I was mentioning earlier, is based on, and not only self-confidence, a lot of things that we believe about ourselves and the things that we do or how we feel is based on a lot of rules and standards and expectations that we've learned from our childhood, that our brains has picked on. Sorry, and it's all unconsciously. It's all things that we haven't chosen, right? We've just, we've heard it, we've seen it, and we've taken it as sponges. And that can look like what a good mom, partner, business owner, leader does is ... okay? And the beauty of it is that as adults, we get, I'm not going to get to the beauty of it yet, but as adults, those rules are unchallenged. Sorry, I'm just going to admit. Click the right button. I can't see where my, sorry ladies, I can't see where my, here we go, okay. Okay, that's annoying because it doesn't give me the, all right, it seems to have done the trick. Welcome back, Sam. Oh, I've moved though, didn't I? What did I do? Sorry. As you see, it's not flawless, that's fine. So as adults, we have all of those unchallenged rules that we are trying to live up by, and that defines whether we can feel self-confidence or not. I mean, really think that one through, because it's so important. Those rules that we have in the background of our heads, those expectations that we've learned from, that are the same then since we're 6 years old, same age as my daughter, those rules are what we use to tell to ourselves, yeah, we can feel self-confidence. Yeah, we have the abilities. Yeah, we can do that thing. It's kind of a manual, that's how I like to call it. It's a manual that tells you, yeah, you should feel self-confident right now. It's what we compare ourselves with in the back of our heads. It's like the back office. So I want to show you a bit more. I've done some to put it in practice. I want to show you what it looks like. I always love a good black whiteboard for my ex-clients on the call. They know that. All right. Let's see if you can see properly. Should be all right. I hope you don't have too much backlight, but I'll talk you through it. So don't look at that one first. I have nothing to cover it, but focus on the good woman. So what I'm going to show you is how it works in our brain, those rules and those standards that we have behind, those roles. Yeah, so as women or as men, I'm doing a lot of things for women, yeah, because I know it's much better, but a lot of it is the same for men. So what happens is that we have different identities, right, in our life. We have different roles that we're playing. We have the role of mom for some of us, of employees for some of us, of business owner for some of us, sister, daughter, friend, all of those roles. Those are kind of identities. And what happens is that through our childhoods, with education, with religion, with society, with our school system, the country we've been raised in, we've learned how to fit in that role. So what that good woman does, what a successful business owner or leader does. Okay, we have all of those rules and expectations. And we have them in the back of our head, as I was mentioning, and we use them to measure whether we're on track or off track. Okay, it's as simple as that. We want to be a good woman in our life. We're going to be like, okay, rule number 1, do it perfectly. Am I on track or off track? Rule number 2, keep small. Obviously, I'm making it, I'm emphasizing so that you really get the idea. It's not as black and white, obviously, but it's pretty much what our brain does. Yeah. And then it goes through, put others' needs first. Don't fail. Always keep busy. That's if in your mind you are trying to be that good woman or that superwoman, you are going to try and match all of those rules unconsciously. And I haven't listed them all, believe me. I've done the full exercise, are like 30 or 20. And then what happens as well is that we are one person, right? So all of those roles that I'm mentioning, we are living them in one body, one head. That's why sometimes it can feel a bit messy. So if we have other goals, like for example, we want to be successful, yeah? We want to run a successful business, or we want to be a successful leader in the company we're in. We have ambition, right? So what does the rules and the standard that we've been taught tell us on how to be successful there? It tells us, okay, if you want to be a successful business owner or leader, you need to have big dreams and ambition. It tells us you need to be confident. It tells us you need to try a lot of different ways until you figure it out. And it tells you as well, let your brain rest to come up with new idea and solution, because you're not going to get into a successful leadership role, a successful business owner, if you don't rest to give your brain some space to think through everything that happens. So now, I would love you to look at it between those two. Which one are in contradiction? Pretty much all of them. Yeah. How do you do it perfectly if you have to try a lot of different ways until you figure it out? How do you keep small? Or how do you build a successful business if part of you tells you that you need to keep small? How do you build a successful business and be confident if you always put others' needs first? Or you come up with new solution if you always keep busy and you don't allow yourself to rest? You see how it works? So those rules, for a lot of them that we have in our heads, are in contradiction with each other. First, they are so long, there are so many of them that nowhere on earth will be able to meet them all. And that's the bloody standards that we use to tell ourselves whether we are a self-confident woman or not, whether we can believe in our abilities. I mean, personally, when I found that out, I was like, oh, I've been seriously misled. All that time, I thought that was me the problem. I thought that I was not able to meet all of those criteria to be a good woman, or I thought that I was not able to be a successful business owner. But it was not me the problem. And it's not you the problem. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that you're broken. It's simply that the rules you're trying to live up by are impossible and they're in contradiction. I hope that lands for you. So, and that's really what I said before. Yeah, it's things that we're carrying with us from childhood. And I'd love you to think, but how often you feel like you're in a situation, you know, when you're a bit scared or something a bit new, you want to go for a new client or a new job, you feel a bit like a little girl, right? You're like, oh, I hope I'm not gonna disturb too much. And can I ask a question? And oh yeah, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to be seen or, you know. And it's because we still have those childhood rules. And one of the really big things that we haven't been told at all as women and as men is how to move into adulthood, how to move into womanhood, which means we take full responsibility for the rules that we have, for the emotions that we feel, for the action that we take, for the results that we create. But you don't want to do that if you're still carrying your old luggages from when you're 6 years old, right? So the best way, oh no, I'm looking at the wrong screen now. The best way is to put awareness on those rules first, all of those ones. That's mine, but you have your own. Question them, and then letting them go is necessary. I mean, you can, of course, keep on living with those rules. There's nothing wrong with it, and I'm not the one telling you need to drop it or keep it. It's up to us. Everybody's going to want to, at the end, follow some specific standards for ourselves. That's why it makes us unique. That's the beauty of it. But what really you owe yourself to do is to find out what those bloody rules are. Question them and choose the one that feels true to you. That's what I do with my clients. That's a big part of the coaching program that we do, is identify what are those rules that we have no idea we're working towards, and question them and choose the one that we want, let go of the ones that we don't want. And that's a way as well to feel empowered, to feel confident, instead of proving yourself to others. Because when you know that what you're working towards is what you want, you've chosen it, you go for it. Trust me, much more than when it feels super awkward. And by the way, when a lot of time you feel like you're not aligned and something is itchy and something is not right, it's most likely because you have some of your roles that are in contradictions that you're trying to match. A lot of the time is what happens. And I put it that way. All right. So I'm just going to pause a second before going to secret number 3. I know I have given you quite a few bits around self-confidence, between the thoughts, the belief, and then the rules that we have. Don't let it overwhelm yourself. I'm just giving you that so that you have it in the back of your mind. You don't need to solve for any of it right now. And you also, please don't let your brain go into, oh, you should have done that. Why have you done that before? And you should have known it, etc., etc. Yeah, we don't want to go into beating yourself up or something like that. Just take it as information for now. Yeah, because when we know, at least we can change it. But you don't have to solve for any of it right now because you're not broken. Let's move to secret number 3. So one that I'm passionate about, so sorry already if I'm a bit too much on that topic, is self-disrespect or negative self-talk or self-blaming, self-judging, self-belittling, all of that crap. That is the worst self-confidence killer, on top of being a happiness killer, an energy killer, a time killer, a dream killer, everything. Yeah, self-disrespect is absolutely awful. And somehow in society, it's ranked so high that we need to be hard on ourselves and we need to be tough on ourselves to go after the goals. I have one of my clients who keeps on saying, but if I don't crack the whip, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to laze around on the sofa. That's the belief that we have for a lot of us. But I just want to show you with that simple example how that's not true. So imagine you went for the job or the new client that you wanted, right? That we spoke about before. You didn't get it. Okay. That's just a fact. Yeah, it's just information. There's no feeling, no adjectives in there. You just didn't get it. Then your brain comes up. You come back at home, you sit on the sofa, and then your brain comes up with all of that self-disrespect. You're useless, how didn't do it right, there is that question, how did you answer? Oh, and you had no answer for that point, you are so slow, why did you even think you could have the job? You know, all of that negative chatter. When you have those thoughts, how do you feel? Just pick the one, I'm useless. How do you feel? I feel personally, I feel ashamed. I will feel crushed. I will feel completely disempowered. What do you want to do when you feel that way? I want to go and hide. I mean, seriously. I just want to go and cry in my bedroom, which that's what I've done a lot of time in the past after I spoke to myself like that. And when I have that strong emotion, the last thing I'm gonna want to do is to try again, for sure, because my brain is gonna remember, okay, if we fail, we're gonna feel ashamed, we're gonna feel shit, it's gonna feel awful. So it's gonna try to keep us by any means possible away from trying again. So we're gonna keep small, and we're gonna keep beating ourselves down as well, because part of us doesn't want to keep small. Yeah, we still want to be that successful businesswoman. And we're also going to change goal, because we're going to say, no, that one was too big anyway. You see what happened when we failed? It was too big. Let's just change goal. So what's the result of all those actions? We give up on our goal. We give up on ourselves. And as you've seen, that has nothing to do with you not getting the goal, you not getting the new client, or you not getting the higher job. It has to do with what chatter you believed and what you believed it meant about you afterwards. That defined everything after, not reaching the goal. If instead you think something like, it's okay, maybe next time, or I get it, you're disappointed and it's okay, how would you feel? You feel like disappointed, obviously, but not crushed. Yeah, you might even feel like, yeah, I get it. Well done for trying. Yeah, so it won't feel as heavy at all. So in terms of what you're going to do from that emotion, you're going to be like, okay, you're going to keep yourself most likely a bit of time to, rest, and then go back and have a look at what it is. Have a look at what you've missed, how you could have done it differently. Maybe ask the guy for some feedback. Try again. Basically, you're going to learn from that experience so that it fuels the next one, and you won't give up on the goal. You're going to use it to actually improve and keep on going. So you see, when I was saying that we use self-disrespect and negative self-talk to keep us moving, it's completely the opposite that it does. It absolutely kills any momentum, any self-belief, any self-confidence. So instead, let's be on your side. That's what we're going to do. So I wanted to equip you with one simple tool that I use for me personally when I am in that negative self-talk, negative disrespect area. Because I know that one, for all of you, comes up. I am 100% sure that you have those negative self-talk about yourself when you fail at something, when it doesn't work out, when you're not doing the thing you said you would do, when you procrastinate, whatever it is, yeah? So really use that tool, and I'll send it to you as well in your worksheets afterwards, to help yourself the next time it comes around. And I call it the best friend or daughter pep talk. I don't know if you all have children or not. I don't think so. But for sure, you have someone that you really love and that you really care about. It can be your mom, that can be your sister, can be your best friend, whoever you put in instead. Yeah? The whole exercise is to think, when you have that topic that you failed at, that you want to feel more self-confidence in, that goal that is important for you, right? The whole idea is to identify all of the sentences, those thoughts and those beliefs, yeah, that you have in your head about you, about your ability, about your pattern, to get it done, to get to that new job, or to retry again, go after that client again if you've seen that you just failed. Write down all of the thoughts that you have about you, the positive and the negative. Most likely it's going to be something like, I don't know, you want to go for a promotion, yeah? You're going to have sentences like, I'm not sure I can do this. Is it really necessary? I don't need the money. It's not that important. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be seen as incompetent, blah, blah, blah. Write all of those down. You're also going to have some like, yeah, I want to do it. I have the skills, I have the abilities, yeah, plus and minus. Then what you do, when you hear all of this negative chatter and self-talk and all of that, you thank your defense committee. Yeah, the one who is coming up with all of the reasons why it's not going to work, why you should not try, why you should just quit right now. And so you thank it, you refocus your brain on being on your side, on more helpful thoughts and beliefs about you and about your abilities instead. And what you can do, why I love doing that, is I identify one that I wouldn't tell to my best friend, to my sister, I use my sister a lot, and I swap it for a more positive one. So, for example, you have that client that you want to go after, and one thought that you have is, you've never done it, why do you think it's going to work? Tell that sentence out loud to yourself, and imagine, would you tell it to your best friend or to your daughter? She says, oh, I have that client that I really want to get and to help. And she says, oh, but I've never done it before. I really don't think I will do it. If it's someone you love, would you really agree? Would you say like, yeah, you're right. I mean, just quit now. It's safer. You're for sure not going to get it. For sure not. You're going to be on their side, yeah? On their dream side. You're going to be like, yeah, no way, don't talk to yourself like, of course you can. Look at all of the stuff that you've done in the past. Look at how amazing you are. Look at how resourceful you are, how far you've came, blah, 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 right? You're going to completely flip the narrative for her. That's what you need to do for you. When you have all of those negative thoughts that come about you, about your ability, you need to be on your side. You need to be the one defending that dream, defending that goal, defending that effort that it's going to take, and do it with as much might as you can. That's what's going to make the difference. And once you find that narrative, that sentence that is empowering, that you would want to tell to your daughter or to your best friend to motivate them, to empower them, you repeat it over and over and you put it everywhere. Look, that's the one I had for today. It's written, it's not going to feel good enough and it's still happening. Yeah? You put them everywhere. That's the key thing, so that you remind your brain that that's the thing we focus on. And the more you're going to repeat it, the more it's going to feel true. And the more then you're going to believe it and you're going to act on it. So thoughts that propel you. I wanted to give you a quick, like from to, so that you can identify and help you. So I'm sure you're going to have thoughts like, I can't do this. That one, you can change it with, I can figure it out. If you have thoughts like, it's too hard for me, you can change it with, you can do hard things. I can do hard things. It's too hard, and so what? We can do hard things. We've done hard things before. It's my only chance to do it right this time. It's my first shot at this, and I get to decide how many trials I get. That's the thing you can say. Because when our brain is scared, it goes a lot in all or nothing. All or nothing is just not helpful. It keeps us in freeze mode. So tell him, it's just a first shot. If you want more try, you keep going. It's up to you. People are going to think I'm stupid if I fail. That's also one that I had a lot. And now what I'm thinking is that failing would be to not even give it a try, would be to not even give myself the chance to make it work, but to have a go at it. What do I have to lose? I go back to where I was, where I am now. That's it. And the other one is I need to get this right first time. I need to do it the best way I can. Well, what I'm thinking now, what I'm using is I want to give it a try and learn. That's the whole point. The whole point is not to do it perfectly right first time, is to give it my best shot without killing myself at it, and then learning from it and improving next time. And trust me, this works every time and for everyone. Those little thought swaps and the change of the thoughts and the change of the belief that I have mentioned. If you want to apply to a higher position, it will work. If you want to ask for a raise, it will work. If you want to completely change your career and learn a different skill set, it will work as well. Believing in yourself. You want to reach out to new clients, the same. You want to have a blooming relationship with your partner and kids, it is the same. The way you're going to think about them, about you, if you turn that into a positive story, it will change the whole dynamic, I can promise you. Basically, every new skill or new goal you want to reach. That's what you call recipe for success. And the new approach that I would suggest for you to feel more confident right now is you decide what you believe about yourself. You don't let people decide for you. You don't let those old rules from when you were 6 dictate what you are able to believe about yourself, but you choose the thoughts that you can figure it out, that you've got this, that you are resourceful. Those are just examples, right? You can pick whatever you want. And you reduce the self-confidence killer. Please do that. If you pick and just one thing out of that training, focus on less negative self-talk to yourself. Next time you have that negative self-talk, be aware of it, thank it. Don't talk to yourself badly about your negative self-talk. That's not helpful. And then move on to something that you are good at, something that you can do, even if it's just a slight improvement. So we were used to try to do everything perfectly right first time, secure every angle to ensure we never fail, keep ourselves and our dreams small to keep safe, feel bad if we disappoint or don't please someone, self-judge, self-blame when it doesn't go according to plans, live by impossible and contradictory standards, basically be on the defense team. That's what we were used to, right? And the new way, and a better way, is to be on your side. And I can already tell you before, it will feel hard. It will feel awkward. But it doesn't mean that it's not working. It only means that it's something new that your brain is not used to, isn't comfortable, and by definition, our brain wants to save energy, so it's going to want to try and move away from it. That's the reason it feels awkward and hard, just because it's new. But what it means, it's an indication that you are growing, that you are changing those wires in your brain and that it is working. So don't take the hard or the awkward or the uncomfortable as signs that you should give up on you, that you should give up on your goals. Take it as a sign that you are moving forward, that you are taking actions, that you are doing it. Otherwise, you're just repeating the past. And that's exactly why I have created Rise, is to teach you how to be on your side every time. Because I know it's hard. I've done it. I've been helping clients do it. And I know it's hard work because our brain is stubborn. He wants to protect us. So he's going to keep very close to what he knows and all those standards and rules that feel so safe. So the whole point is to help him feel safe with a new way of doing things, being on your side. So I'm going to take just a few minutes to talk to you about more help that I could give you if you want. So what is Rise? Rise is my new group coaching program that I've created, and it is awesome. Like her. It is a unique space that helps you learn how to become that unshakable dreams advocate of yours. And it will help you learn a lot of those skills that we have never learned at school. I mean, really, the more I'm getting into that work, the more I'm thinking, why are we learning all of those useless stuff at school? Where actually what we need is to learn how our brain works, is to learn how to deal with uncomfortable emotions because they come up every time we want to do something new in our life, how to change our beliefs about ourselves because naturally our brain is going to give us the negative scenario. So our job is to turn that story around again and again and again. It's also how to move into adulthood and decide your own roles for you. It's how to achieve any goals without needing to beat yourself up, my favorite one, because that's possible. And it's basically how to go after your dream career and your dream life without the guilt or needing people's approval. But because you're empowered, because you're clear and you're confident. And you know yourself, you know your vision, you know your purpose. And that's what I'm going to help you do with 30 women that will be split in intimate groups of 5. That's what I want to do, is to keep, like small group coaching. Well, we're 8 on that call. That would be kind of a 5, just so that there is that intimacy of you can feel safe, you can open up, you can get to know each other, and you can help each other. Rise is a 6-month group coaching program that is weekly. Yeah, so every week we will have a 1-hour coaching call where I will take you through 4 steps of the program. So that I have thought through, that I know is what you need to help you create the life and the career you are meant to live. Those 4 steps are, the first one is going from automatic to conscious. And that focuses very much on, those rules and the standards that we've seen, all of those automatic stuff, dig it up and bring some consciousness on it. The second one is one that I absolutely love and that I have found nowhere else, is setting loving foundations for you. Right now, your foundations are self-judgment, self-blame, self-belittling, unkindness, all of those stuff. And it shows up in so many parts of your life. What I'm going to help you do is to find safety by being you, by being on your side. Right now, your brain is scared when you're on your side because it feels awkward and it feels new. I'm going to help you feel safe and feel good and feel like you are your own, like temple. That's an amazing thing you can give to yourself. And then from there, when your brain is basically all calmed down and he knows where he's going, he knows you have your own side, and he knows what rules we're obeying to, we're going to explore your future. Which means if you come into the program with, I want to build a bigger business, I want to live a fulfilled career, but I have no idea how. I want to improve the relationship or my marriage. I have no idea how either. I want to find my life purpose. I don't know what it is. That's the part where we're going to explore, because you can't explore new things, new possibilities for you, where you're constantly scared, when you're always walking on eggs and trying to do perfectly. Your brain won't let you. You need first to, that's what we do in the first step. And then in there, we also choose. We're like, okay, we've explored everything. Let's see what really fuels us, what we feel like super motivated to do. And I can tell you, everybody finds it. And then from there, we create the future that we want. So I also give you all of the skills on how to make those dreams, how to make those new goals happen. With the fails, with everything, but being able to manage all of that because you have the skills I mentioned earlier. And it is a one-time investment with lifetime benefits. Because not only that you will reach the goal that you want, but you also be equipped with the skills to feel strong with anything that life throws at you and still keep on track with yourself, not against yourself. You will learn some extra skills through the program, like how to ask for what you want. If it's a rise, if it's, something in your business, you can ask for it. How to manage your emotions instead of reacting to them. And a lot of us feel completely disempowered with our own emotions. That's a skill because we haven't learned it at school. That's why it's called life coaching. We coach on all life-related things. How to feel safe even in period of changes is the same as well. That one, generally when, we lose our job, our marriage goes pear-shaped, our kid is sick, there's something, it completely shakes us to the core. And then we feel like we're completely unsafe. We need to go in a cave and we need to stop everything. I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you how to not do that so that you still feel that safety. So you can discover the magic of coaching. I've just put a quick video of one of my clients. Oh,
Alix from Alix with the coaching for a number of months now. I'd be lying if I said I actively went out to find a life coach. It wasn't on my agenda, but oh my goodness, what a difference has it made to my busy professional and personal life. I run 2 businesses. I'm also a mum, wife, household to run, so juggling lots of moving parts. And Alix has taught me some lifelong skills that I will take away with me long after I finish my coaching sessions with her, from resilience to how to carry on and power through when you're feeling exhausted and just get something back from those really hard days, to patience, empathy, and most importantly, how to put myself first, and feel guilt-free for taking some me time, and saying no to people. Not only is she a lovely person, so you feel completely comfortable opening up to her and talking things through with her. She is a very competent and professional coach. I just can't recommend her highly enough.
It's just a little something, because I know sometimes when we're not in coaching, we struggle to see exactly what it does. And I haven't paid her for her to say that, by the way. So living a life that you really want and that feels fulfilling doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It simply needs different tools, different mindset, determination, and an experienced guide who believes in you and in your dreams no matter what, and who's been there, so he can guide you to avoid taking it forever and hitting all of the obstacles, which is what I would propose myself to do for you. So you join Rise and you learn how to become your dreams advocate forever. That's the beauty of it. So Rise costs £2,197 for those 6 months of becoming your dreams advocate. As I've mentioned, it's weekly individual group coaching, worksheets, audio, videos for each of the lessons. You get in bonus 2 extra group coaching sessions per month, because I know sometimes it takes a bit longer on one of the lessons and then we have more questions, we're unclear. So those 2 extra group coaching sessions that you're free to join or not, it's where you can ask anything that you want, Q&A or get coaching on top of it. And if you join in the next 24 hours, I thought I wanted to say thank you for coming as well for the training and hanging out with me for all of the times. I will offer you 2 hours of individual coaching, which is around £250. Because what that will do, it will help you really crystallize why you want to join the program, how to best help you, and then the other one, you can use it whenever you want. That's what I wanted to propose to you today. So you now can decide, right? Either you want to move onto the defendant side and be on the side of your dreams, or you stay on the defense team, which, by the way, there's no right or wrong decision, because for me, I know that there are times for everything. Yeah. And there are times to like go all in and go full on and try it and, get the coaching and change a lot of things. And there are times where it just feels like, yeah, I want to keep trying on my own for a while, which, only you know it, so you have the best answer. But I'd love for you to join Rise. That's basically my point, ladies. Thank you very much. And I will take any questions. I'm going to stop the recording.